Red lingerie fell in the hallway. Who is it for? Valeria Costa never imagined that a broken shopping bag could expose everything she had been hiding for an entire year. She was walking fast down the executive hallway, heels clicking sharply against the marble floor, heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. She had done something reckless, something completely out of character. Inside the thin paper bag she clutched to her side was red lingerie, bold and unmistakable, the kind she had never worn before. She bought it for him. For Lucas Navarro, her boss, the CEO, the man who had made her heart race every time he entered a room. Tonight, after everyone left the office, she planned to finally stop pretending. She would walk into his office and tell him the truth, that she was tired of hiding, tired of acting like she didn't feel what had been growing between them for a year. But fate had other plans. The bag's handle snapped. Valeria gasped as the contents spilled across the hallway floor. Red lace, silk, impossible to ignore. Time froze. Footsteps echoed behind her. Valeria. Her blood turned cold. She turned slowly. Lucas Navarro stood a few feet away, jacket off, tie loosened. Dark eyes locked on the red fabric scattered between them. He looked from the lingerie to her face, and something unfamiliar ignited in his expression. Jealousy. Raw, controlled, barely restrained. "Who is it for?" he asked quietly, and in that moment, Valeria knew nothing between them would ever be the same. 1 year earlier, Valeria had walked into Navarro Enterprises as just another executive assistant. 27 years old. Smart. Organized. Invisible. Lucas Navarro was everything she wasn't supposed to want. Powerful, confident, untouchable. From the very first day, there had been something between them. A spark neither acknowledged. A pause that lasted too long when their hands brushed passing documents. The way she always sensed his presence before she saw him. But neither crossed the line. He was her boss. She needed the job. So the attraction lived in silence. Late nights became routine. Lucas stayed late, finishing reports, always when Valeria did too. She caught him watching her, when he thought she wasn't looking. She memorized the way his voice softened when they were alone. A year of restraint. A year of pretending professionalism erased desire. It didn't. Now, standing in the hallway, Valeria dropped to her knees, scrambling to gather the red lace with shaking hands. "It's nothing," she said quickly. "Just shopping." Lucas didn't move. "That doesn't look like nothing," he replied. She stood, clutching the lingerie to her chest, trying to walk past him. He stepped into her path, not touching her, but close enough that she felt his presence like heat. "Answer the question," he said. "Who is it for?" Her heart slammed violently. "That's not your business," she said, forcing strength into her voice. "It's my private life." "Do you have a boyfriend?" he asked. "No." "Then who?" "No one." He didn't believe her. His jaw tightened. "You expect me to believe you bought that for no reason?" "Yes," she snapped. "Women don't need permission." The elevator doors opened behind them. 2 employees stepped out, laughter filling the space. The moment shattered. Lucas stepped back instantly, the CEO mask snapping into place. "You can go," he said coldly. "It's late." Valeria walked away on trembling legs. Heart racing, humiliation, and adrenaline colliding inside her. She had never seen Lucas like that. And Lucas Navarro had never cared who Valeria belonged to, until now. When jealousy comes out and shows us the truth, it can be a bad thing. Jealousy is not good for anyone. It makes people do things and say things they do not mean. This is what happened when jealousy exposed the truth. Jealousy can ruin relationships, make people very unhappy. So it is very important to control jealousy and not let it expose the truth in a way. Jealousy is a feeling that can take over our lives if we are not careful. That is why we need to be aware of jealousy and how it can expose the truth. Valeria did not sleep that night. She was wide awake the time thinking about everything that was on her mind, and for some reason Valeria just could not seem to fall asleep. So Valeria stayed up all night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Lucas standing in the hallway. His eyes were fixed on the lace. Lucas had a gaze and his voice was low and dangerous when he asked who the red lace was for. She thought about that moment a lot, trying to figure out when things between her and Lucas changed. When did the quiet tension between Lucas and her turn into something that felt like it was going to explode? She kept thinking about Lucas and what happened between them. She did not plan for him to see it. The thing is, she had not expected him to see it. Now it was out in the open, the thing that she had wanted to keep hidden from him, the secret that she had kept to herself for so long. Now he had seen it, the very thing that she had tried to hide from him. She did not plan for feeling jealous. The feeling of jealousy was something that she was not expecting to happen to her. She had not thought that jealousy would be a problem for her. She had not thought about how much it would mean to her that it was actually there. It really mattered that it was there all. The fact that it was there made a difference to her. On Saturday morning, she went back to the office to get the documents that she had left behind. She thought the floors would be empty, and it would be really quiet. What she did not think she would see was Lucas. He was standing in the doorway of his office. His sleeves were rolled up. His hair was a bit messy. He did not look like the CEO of a company. He looked like a man who had not slept in a time. The CEO looked very tired. He said, "What is he doing here?" The man wanted to know what the other person was doing there. He was asking about the person's presence in that place. The person's actions seemed to be a mystery to him. He asked the person to explain what they were doing. He was curious about the person and what the person was doing in that location. The man's question was direct and to the point. He wanted an answer from the person. The person was there. The man did not know why the person was there. He asked the question because he needed to know the reason for the person's presence. The woman said, "I forgot my files." And she stayed back a little. She did not think anyone would be at the place. He said that he did not think the person would come back either. He said it in a very quiet voice. There was silence between them. It was really uncomfortable. The silence felt heavy. It was charged with tension. The silence between them was very uncomfortable. Lucas started talking. Said, "About what happened yesterday." Valeria said, "There is nothing to talk about." She did not want to discuss it. The whole thing was really embarrassing for her. Valeria thought it would be better if they just forgot about the thing. He said that he is not able to do it. She turned to face him. She said, "Why did you do that?" To the man. The woman wanted to know why he did what he did to the man. She was really asking why he did it to her. She looked at the man, said, "Why?" "I was up all night thinking about this thing. The night. I just could not stop thinking about it. I thought about it the night." She felt like she could not breathe for a moment. Her breath caught. She said, "You do not get to ask me about my life." She meant it. "Not in that way," she added. "Lucas said I know. He also said that he was wrong. Lucas was talking about something. He knew it. Lucas said that he made a mistake and he was wrong. About the thing that Lucas was talking about." The fact that she got in really surprised her. That admission really shocked her. "But I need to understand something," he went on. "Were you going to meet someone night?" She said no. She meant it. Then why the lingering? She stopped for a moment. Thought about what to do next. She was not sure if she should go ahead or not. The woman hesitated. Lucas was not sure what to do. Then he did not do anything for a moment. In that moment when he was not doing anything, Lucas found his answer. The man said to me in a voice, "You were going to see me." Valeria felt the truth crash down between Valeria and the other person. It was like a big weight had fallen. The truth was now out in the open, between Valeria and this person. She said quietly, "You do not get to say that. He told me that I am wrong. I know that I am right. I said to him the books are right, the people are right, and I am right. The books say that this thing is true, and the people say that this thing is true, so I am right. Aren't the books right? Aren't the people right? Aren't I right?" She completely lost her cool. Her composure shattered. Her composure was really broken into pieces. The woman's composure shattered. "Yes," she said. Her voice was shaking. "I was tired of pretending to be someone. I was tired of being invisible, of being the person that nobody really sees. The invisible person, that is what I felt like." Lucas closed his eyes. He ran a hand through his hair. This was something Lucas did when he was thinking about things. Lucas was really thinking about things now. He said softly, "I want you to know how tough it has been for me. Every day I have to look at you and tell myself that having power means I have to be very careful about what I say, because power makes silence very dangerous for people like you. Looking at you every day is hard, because I have to remember that power is a deal, and it can hurt people if I am not quiet." Valeria looked at him. She was really surprised. She just could not believe what was happening with the man who was standing in front of her. Valeria was still staring at him. Valeria thought that this was all very strange, and she did not know what to do. Valeria was frozen in place looking at him. She said, "You think I have not felt it too?" She had spent a year telling herself that he could not possibly think of her in the same way that she thinks of him. He said that he does. He said that he thinks about it every day. The air between them was really hot. It felt like the air between them was on fire. The air between them burned with a lot of tension. The phone of the man rang. The real world got in the way. Reality came crashing in. He said. His jaw got tight then. He looked back at her. "We will talk tonight. Really talk. No secrets. Valeria nodded. She felt a little better. Hope was coming up, even though she was still really scared of what might happen to her. Valeria was trying to stay positive. Hope was helping her to do that. That night, Lucas stood outside her apartment. He was really nervous. This was the time he had felt this way in a very long time. Lucas was not used to feeling nervous like this. The feeling of being nervous was something that Lucas had not experienced in years. Valeria went inside. She hid the red lingerie in her closet. Her heart was pounding hard. Valeria was really scared that someone would find the lingerie. When she opened the door, the woman stood facing the man. There were no office walls and no hierarchy. The woman and the man, two people who were holding a lot of unspoken truths about the woman and the man. Lucas said this away. He did not want to hurt his career. He did not want to do something with Lucas, career that Lucas could not fix. Lucas was worried about crossing a line that would be bad for Lucas. Valeria said, "I do not want to live pretending." They stood there not saying a word, and the weight of the choice they had to make was just hanging in the air between the two of them. The choice was really weighing on them. They had to make this choice. It was a big deal. The choice was what mattered most to them now. Lucas took a step back. He looked at the situation. Then Lucas took another step back. Lucas was not sure what to do. Lucas just stood there. Thought about what Lucas should do. "We need to do this, right?" he said. "We should not do it at all." Valeria nodded. She moved her head up and down to show that she understood. Valeria was really paying attention to what was being said to her. Valeria wanted to make sure that she got it right. For the first time, jealousy turned into respect. When power was tested. Monday morning arrived without mercy. Valeria walked into Navarro Enterprises with her head held high. But she could feel it, the shift. Whispers followed her through the corridors. Looks lingered longer than usual. Someone had seen the red lingerie. Someone had talked. In offices like this, rumors traveled faster than facts. She thinks she's special. That's how women get ahead here. Must be nice to have the CEO's attention. Each word cut deeper, because none of them knew the truth. Lucas noticed it too. He saw the way senior executives spoke over Valeria in meetings. The way her ideas were suddenly questioned. Not because they lacked merit, but because people wanted to remind her of her place. And Lucas did something unexpected. He stayed silent. Not because he didn't care, but because this battle wasn't his to fight. The breaking point came during a leadership briefing. Valeria presented a process improvement she had quietly developed over months. An efficiency system that reduced operational delays by 18%. It was clean, smart, and backed by data. Halfway through, a department head interrupted her. "This is beyond your scope," he said dismissively. "You're an assistant." Valeria froze for half a second. Then she straightened. With respect, she replied calmly, "My title doesn't change the math. And the math shows this saves the company millions." The room went silent. All eyes moved to Lucas. He didn't speak. He leaned back in his chair and waited. The executive scoffed. "You expect us to take direction from someone who answers phones?" Valeria felt heat rise in her chest, not shame, but resolve. I answer phones, she said evenly, and I solve problems no one else has time to see. If competence offends you, that's not my responsibility. Instant karma arrived quietly. The CFO cleared his throat. She's right, he said. We ran the numbers last night. Her proposal works. The room shifted. The executive had nothing left to say. For the first time, Valeria wasn't defended. She was validated. After the meeting, Lucas called her into his office. Not as her boss. As a man who had witnessed something rare. You didn't need me, he said. No, Valeria replied. I needed space. He nodded. You have more power than this building realizes, Lucas said. And more integrity than most people inside it. She met his gaze. Then treat me like it. I will, he said. In every way. That afternoon, Lucas announced structural changes. Valeria would move to a new strategic role, reporting to a different division. No favoritism. No whispers. Just recognition. Some executives were furious. Others were quiet. But no one could argue the results. That night, Valeria met Lucas for coffee, not in secret, not in his office, not under fluorescent lights. Just two people, sitting across from each other. This isn't easy, Valeria said. No, Lucas agreed. But it's right. He hesitated. I won't pretend my feelings don't exist. But I won't let them cost you anything. Valeria smiled softly. And I won't shrink myself to make this comfortable. Lucas returned the smile. That's why I admire you. They didn't touch. They didn't need to. Something stronger had replaced tension. Mutual respect. But someone else was watching. The same executive, who had tried to humiliate Valeria, was quietly planning retaliation, spreading rumors, questioning her promotion, attempting to discredit her work. He underestimated her. That would be his last mistake. When respect became non-negotiable. The retaliation didn't take long. Within a week, Valeria's proposal was evaluated. Meetings she was supposed to attend were rescheduled without her. Emails went unanswered. A quiet campaign began, subtle, polite, and ruthless. The executive who had mocked her role moved carefully, planting doubt with phrases like optics and appropriateness. He never mentioned the red lingerie. He didn't have to. The implication hung in the air. Valeria felt it, but she didn't flinch. Instead of reacting emotionally, she documented everything. Emails, decisions, data timelines. She worked later than ever, not to prove herself, but to protect the truth. Lucas noticed. You don't have to do this alone, he told her one evening. I need to. Valeria replied calmly. This is bigger than us, Dot. And she was right. The reckoning came during a quarterly board review. Valeria was invited at the last minute, an intentional move meant to unbalance her. She walked into the boardroom steady, prepared, and composed. The executive launched his attack. He questioned her qualifications, suggested her promotion compromised company integrity, implied personal relationships influenced business decisions. The room went quiet. Valeria stood. May I respond? She asked. The board chair nodded. Valeria projected her screen. Emails appeared. Timelines, performance metrics, independent approvals, third-party audits. I was promoted. Valeria said evenly. After my proposal increased operational efficiency by 18% and reduced costs by $7 million annually. I report to a division with no personal ties to Mr. Navarro. She turned to the executive. You question my integrity without evidence. Here is mine. Instant karma didn't arrive with shouting. It arrived with silence. The board thanked Valeria for her transparency. Then they asked the executive to step outside. He never returned to that role. After the meeting, Lucas found Valeria on the terrace. You didn't just protect yourself, he said. You changed the culture. Valeria exhaled slowly. I wasn't fighting for a position, she said. I was fighting for respect. Lucas nodded. That's what leaders do. She smiled. Then maybe I've always been one. Months later, Valeria no longer walked the halls as an assistant. She led projects, mentored others, spoke at conferences about professional boundaries, and earned authority. And Lucas? He stood beside her, not above her, not in front of her, not behind her. Equal. When someone asked how their story began, Valeria answered honestly, with a mistake and a choice to do better.